I got my hands on the brightest white paint, and you guys already know what I'm about to do to these white Air Force Ones. So for the time being, this is solely an experiment. I wanted to test if this paint would actually make a difference, and I did get a lot of comments on the blackout Air Force Ones asking if I could do a white version, so make sure you stay to the end to see the result. Up to this point, I had prepared the shoe so that they could be airbrushed. But of course, whenever I use a lighter color in my airbrush, I like to make sure that it's extremely clean so that I'm not getting any other coloured particles onto my canvas. This white paint is actually quite thick, so I did have to thin it down with some water. Here I'm just comparing it to the shoe, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to make much of a difference. But anyway, when using lighter paint onto a lighter surface, it is hard to tell if you've gone over the whole thing. So in this case, I did go over the shoe plenty of times with plenty of coats just to make sure that it was fully covered. And with this pair, I was only working on the left foot, obviously, so that I could compare them once it was done. Now that I'm looking back at this video, they do look very, very bright, but I don't know if that's because I've been staring at them for ages. But before I show you the comparison, I also wanted to test out the difference between these two paints that I usually use and the whitest paint. The first one I lay down is from Angelus. The second one I'm laying down now is from Sneakers ER. And then obviously the third one is the alleged brightest white paint. Obviously against the paper they are quite white, and the whitest one is definitely the lightest, but compared to the Angelus one, I don't think there was much of a difference on the paper. Now I just had to lace them up, and I remembered that I have these white Billie Eilish debris that were from a pair I worked on a few years ago, and thought they'd be perfect for this pair. And finally, it is now time for the grand reveal. I did have to take them outside, and you guys can let me know what you think. That one on the right is the one that I painted, and the one on the left is the one that I hadn't painted. They are definitely very, very white, and there is definitely a difference between the two, but it's nowhere near the difference between the blackout Air Force Ones and how they look originally. And it was quite hard to capture the difference on camera, but I think the best representation was when I put them on foot. But is that just me because I've been staring at them so long? You guys let me know. Do you think it was a waste of time, or do you think you can tell a difference? As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.